This is a sample chapter from Fitton Books. Chapter 47. Most inferiors were either in transit to the Aragasta's yestic fields or their skulls prepared for the Death Empire. Sard's inner vengeance dictated he swipe his craw across the Tolton's neck. In the course of torturing, one of the inferiors betrayed his own selvets and spoke of rooms below the fortress. He and his selvets soon waddled through a constricted tunnel below the Tolton's hallow seal. Light shone onto the rocks ahead. The selvets pointed their shooters inside a port in the rocks. One of the selvets stepped back into the tunnel. "We have found the chamber, Vargut Emnas. Unarmed inferiors."
"Is the Tolton inside?"
"We do not see him." Sard ducked through the opening and swayed his westic before three aging inferiors seated in front of a clear pyramid matching the monolith on Altashar. The old one watched his selvets, and the rest of the fools kept their appendages perched at their temples. Sard knew the Tabun Shah resonating ritual.
"Do you pray to Tabun Shah to have a quick death?"
"In death we will all join Tabun Shah,"
said the one closest to him.
"Where are they?"
The inferior shook his head.
"Where is the Tolton?"
"We have not seen the Tolton. We assume that he is dead."
"Liar! The rest of you inferiors, stand before Sard."
"We are the Plavka, the Tolton's advisors,"
said the third member.
"You have no business being here."
Sard advanced rapidly and sliced the inferior's neck with his craw. His head tumbled across the floor and saurine beaded on Sard's silver uniform.
"Sard will kill you all. Look at the body of the coward you call friend. Do you wish the same fate, inferior?"
One of them stepped closer.
"I am but an aging Albasharian, and I despise your alien ugliness."
"Insolence!"
"Let us kill him for you, Vargut Emnas," called out one of the selvets. Sard removed his shooter and touched the pad. Green aptar light danced around the room and surrounded the inferior until he was gone.
"No one challenges Sard."
"Your orders, Vargut Emnas."
"Sard's orders are to chop the remaining inferior body into small pieces and place it in the yestic food bins for consumption by the other inferiors. And then destroy this room."
He dipped his head as he moved into the darkened hall and pulled out his fram.
"Reich!
"Yes, Vargut Emnas."
Reich! Sard has not located the Tolton. Prepare shooter reserves for complete vaporization of this Urkham when Sard returns to the vessel."
"It will be done, Vargut Emnas."
As he hunched over again and started back, he heard the wailing of the last Plavka member. His upper lip vibrated. Near the stairs, his selvets hurried down the tunnel with the collected skulls piled into a transport bag. Other selvets pointed their shooters back to the room. A bright blue light lit the hall. A few explosions shook the rocks as Sard's fram sounded.
"Vargut Emnas, this is Huda. Defensive shield has fallen."
Sard grows weary of this place.
"And what of the Tolton?"
The Tolton will not survive the vaporization of this Urkham's surface."
Sard entered the Death Empire's dim light. Upper Nakidam directed selected light down on the remnants of a battle from reefs in the past. In the distance, selvets loaded fresh interior skulls onto the wall gallery. Sard nodded as he passed the dried, browned inferior skulls, stretching down like a road along the length of the Aragasta.
"Sard has their skulls, but where is Tabun Shah?"
he shouted.
"We have scanned the entire Urkham. Nothing, Vargut Emnas."
Said his selvet.
"And below, why no energy source as the other Urkhams? Destroy this inferior Urkham."
Sard stared at the inferior skulls. The stench of the inferior dead in the Death Empire only heightened his annoyance with this Urkham. The clustered Ankitas, their mating rituals, and the lack of progress demonstrating their inferiority as a race. Creod life started from within at the proper time. Every last one of these vile creatures deserved death, and the entire civilization needed to be erased from the Humea. Not having the Tolton skull on the Aragasta made conquering this Urkum a useless victory. Of more importance, Sard's attack on the realm required detailed planning and secret alliances. Sard had ultimate respect throughout the realm. He would do anything to topple the upper echelon from power. The small Azakar wafted at the locks, the doors closed, and the pressure gushed into the area. Sard placed his shooter back on his belt and stood. He said nothing to his Selvets as he marched into the Azakar opening. It slid open and Sard walked into the bays. Selvets fell to the ground, but Sard headed for the Thasian tube's red light. He was surprised to see Anchor in full uniform. "Glory to you, Sard, Vargut Garman," he said from the floor. Sard helped him stand. "Again, you have performed with honor." Sard nodded and the Thasian opened.
Sard wishes to be brought to the Ician.
The tube sealed and Anchor stared at him as they moved upward. "You have conquered another Tabun Shah Urkum, yet you act as if you have lost the battle."
Sard failed to apprehend the Albasharian leader.
"This Urkum will be destroyed and later colonized. As far as what the upper echelon might order, I believe you have taken the proper course for the realm." Sard did not even scan the older Creod's faded matrices.
The echelon knows nothing of battle. Let them sit in their towers, issue useless orders. Like any remaining life on Albashar, time is running out for the upper echelon. Sard is ready to move against them.
The tube opened at the Ician. Sard walked ahead of Anchor, pushed the Selvets aside, and positioned himself at the weapons console. The Nakidim showed all the shooter reserves fully charged. Sard personally set the coordinates on the Tolton's fortress.
Vargut Gammon,
Said Roik from behind.
I congratulate you on your victory.
Sard stared at the yellow schematic of the forces and the blue circular areas of impact.
Sard will only be pleased when there is no life left on this Urkum.
Another message has been received from the upper echelon. Sard looked up from the Nakidim screen.
And what do they want now?
They wanted to stop the destruction of Albashar. Sard's fangs slid along his mouth.
Fools. They will get what Sard decides to give them. Huta, set up the Orzbord channels near the main power bundles. Sard wants a deliberate interference with the echelon contact.
It will be done, Vargut Garman. And the shooters?
Keep the shooters charged. The Tolton and any survivors have been granted a reprise until Sard speaks with the upper echelon.
Anka scanned his old friend. This is the first act of a rebellion.
Sard will not be dictated to, as if he had just left his birth shell and is crawling through the swamps.
Sard faced Anchor next to the giant humming orange piles as the Orzbord channel opened. The consoles and Nikidims were slowly transformed into a choppy image of the chambers at the echelon towers. Bochak leaned on the triangular black table. The tips of his pink fangs were still visible.
What is the problem with this Orzbord?
The other echelon members hunkered behind Bochak as Sard dropped to his knees.
Sard is responsible for the Orzbord.
He wanted to kill them all with his Westic.
The Aristoga is experiencing problems with its power bundles.
The Echelon would hope you would not experience difficulty in returning to the home Urkum immediately.
Yelled Bochak.
The Aristoga is immobilized. Rupikans and Selvets are trying to rectify the problem.
Ayak moved around the table.
Are you saying you will be delayed in returning to the home Urkum? We cannot fully view you. I will only tell you not to destroy that Urkum. We have decided that the Mantari campaigns have come to an end. You will be elevated upon your arrival at the home Urkum and reassigned to a more peaceful command.
Sard is honored.
He lowered his head so they could not see his fully extended fangs.
You will become a Vargut Gaman in the Sortine sectors.
Being relegated to the Sortines would leave him in an isolated region of the Humea with no military power. As a military gaman, he would be planted among settlers and traders.
It will be done.
The oarsboard went out. Sard pummeled the console and hurled a huge corner chunk across the room. His yellow tongue twitched as he slammed 3 selvets to the floor on his way to the Thasian. Anka stepped aside before the tube was sealed. They moved through the grainy red light.
Sard will kill them all. Sard will crush them and their cohorts out of existence.
The cross slept through the Thasian field.
They threaten the very existence of the realm's security.
I am sorry, Vargut Garman.
How dare they send Sard to the Sortines? They do not understand Sard's support within the realm. Let Sard's allies see the injustice of such an act. Creoid Selvots and Proaskas will be honored to fight with Sard again. He will only need 2 Ampri Jazzicars with the Aragosta, maybe a few freighters. Sard will cut their food lines and halt all Azakars moving in commerce with the home Urkum.
Bold plans, Vargut Garman.
Yes, old friend. Bold plans. You will summon Elkin for Sard. Elkin helped plan the Mantari campaigns. Find him. Bring him back for his final campaign.
It will be done, Vargut Garman. And what of Al-Bashar?
Let Roik and Huda have the glory. Sard will seek the Mantari and the Taban Shar again. Let us test what you have read in their Seba. Prepare for the final battle of the Suryaf Khan.